Welcome. This lesson is over angle relationship. So let's look at our number routine. Find the missing measure by writing an equation and solving for x. So we're solving for this one. But before we do so, what type of angle is angle x? What can you tell me about this angle right here? You should have learned this in fourth grade. It is an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is an angle that is wider than a right angle. So it's more than 90 degrees. So my prediction is this answer has to be more than 90 degrees. So let's find the sum of this. So we have x plus 21 and 5 tenths plus 37 and 8 tenths equal 180 degrees because the three interior angles have a sum of 180 degrees. So if we add 21 and 5 tenths to 37 and 8 tenths, 8 plus 5 is 13, carry to 1, 7, 1, 1 is 9, 2 plus 3 is 5. So x plus 59 and 3 tenths equal 180. So we know how to solve a one-step equation. What is the inverse of plus 59 and 3 tenths? Minus 59 and 3 tenths. Minus 59 and 3 tenths. This cancels out. X equal. So subtract this. So nx is 0. Can I take away 3 from a 0? No. Can't take away from the 0. No, I have to regroup. This becomes a 7. This becomes a 9 because I take away from that. And then it becomes a 10. 7, 0, 2, 1. So it's 120 and 7 tenths. So x is 120 and 7 tenths. Is it more than 90 degrees? Yes. What is one way I can check my work to see if I did a great job? What can I do with this angle, and this angle to check my work? What? Add them up? Yes, you can add up these three angles and it should add up to 180 degrees. So in our first activity is a cutout activity. You're going to be given an expression, a very long expression. Then you're going to be given the same expression. I'll ask you to cut it out into terms. Again, it's been a while. Do you remember order operation, how we highlighted the addition and the subtraction? And then it's broken down into terms. Well, we're going to cut them out. So I see 12m. I see 2, but it's plus 2. I see plus 13m. I see minus 4. I see plus 12m. And I see minus 3. So I want you to group like terms. So I group all the variables with m's, and I group all of the numbers, the constants. So 12m plus 13m plus 12m, what will that equal to? Let me get my pen. 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 13 is 37 m's. And so this is 37 m's. If I had to group all of these integers, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, plus negative 4 is negative 5. Again, here is it. If you would like to see it, visualize it. So this makes 0 pair, and then 4 more negatives, so it's negative 5. So 37m minus 5. All right, so by knowing this, you might say, okay, what's the point of this? By knowing how to combine like terms where you put all the variables together and put all the constants together, then you'll know how to solve equations like these. You say, oh, goodness, because you know in the 6th grade lesson, we're given two numbers, and then we just have to find x. In 7th grade, in upper grade levels, you are given variables such as these, and then you have to find out what each x equal, and then you go back, replace the x with that number so you can find what each angle is equal to. So we see 3x, 12x, and 5x. So 3x plus 12x plus 5x And what is the sum of a triangle? 180 degrees. So if you add up all the terms together of 3x, 12x, and 5x, that is 15x, 20x equals 180. We know how to solve a one-step equation. What is the inverse of multiply? Divide, divide, x equals 9. So each x equals 9. So if I replace this x, 3 nines is 27 degrees. 5 times 9 is 45 degrees, and 12 times 9 equals 108 degrees. All right, this is where it gets a little, so we found it. But now, this is where some kids get a little confused. So I'm going to use a highlighter and show you. It says, what is the measure of JKL? So you start at J, K to L. So the measure they're talking about is 108 degrees. Next one, what is the measure of KLJ? So start with K, KLJ. So the measure is 27 degrees. And next one, well, what's the last one? So the last one we haven't done is this one. What's the measure of LJK? LJK. So it's 45, and I'll use a pen for that one. 45 degrees. So this was 27 degrees and 108 degrees. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is what letter is in the center of each one? This is angle K, angle L, and angle J. That's a shortcut. Next one. So find what x is equal to. So we need to write it as an equation. 4x plus 13 plus 4x plus 7 plus x minus 2, and it'll be 180 degrees. So if we look closely at this one, if you collect all of the variables together, 4x, 4x, x, that's 9x. If you can't see, it's right here. 4x plus 4x plus x is 9x. Then let's collect all the constant. We see plus 13 plus 7, that's 20, minus 2 is 18. You also see here plus 13 plus 7 minus 2 is plus 18, equal 180. So we know how to solve a two-step equation. I need this variable to be isolated. How can I make this isolate? I need to get rid of positive 18. So minus 18, minus 18. That cancels out. 9x equals, can I take away 8 from 0? No, that becomes a 7. This becomes a 10. So it's 162. Divide by 9, divide by 9. It's because I want to isolate the variable x. So x equals, what is 162 divided by 9? That goes in one time. 16 minus 9 is 7. Bring that to 2. 9 goes at 72 8 times. Each x is 18. So let's go back here now, and let's replace each x with 18. I'll do the first one, the easiest one. 18 minus 2 is 16. 4 groups of 18 is 72, plus 13 more, 72 plus 15, plus 13, 72 plus 13 is 75, 85. And then 4, replace the x with 18. 4 groups of 18 is 72 plus 7. Goodness, stop doing your head. 79. So if I did it correctly, all three numbers should add up to 180 degrees. I'm just going to check my work to make sure. 85, 16, 79, 15 plus 5 is 20, carry to 2, 15, 16, 18. Yes, it does. Yeah. So now ABC. So ABC. So if you want to, you can use a highlighter. A to B to C. So it's this angle. So it's 85 degrees. Shortcut. It's in the center. Find angle B. Next one. I'm going to take away this highlighter. Find BCA. Highlighter. B to C to A. Well, it's that one. So it's 16 degrees. Take that away. And last, so what's we did 85, 16. So the last one is 79 degrees. And we know it adds up to 180 because I checked my work. All right, number 3, our last example of interior triangles. So in this one, we need to write an equation. So we have 2x plus 2x minus 20 plus x minus 8.5. And the sum of 3 interior angles for a triangle is 180 degrees. So let's combine like terms. I see a 2x, a 2x, plus an x, that's 5x. Here's a check your work, 2x, 2x, x is 5x. Then I see a minus 20 and minus 8.5. So negative with more negative is minus 28.5. And what is it going to equal to? 180. So this is a two-step equation. I need to isolate this variable x. How I'm going to isolate it, I need to get rid of minus 28.5. The inverse is plus 28.5. And this adds up to 208.5, 5x. Then I need to isolate the inverse of multiply is divide. So I divide this. So x equal 208.5 divided by 5. It goes in 4 times. 5 goes in 1 time. That's, whoops. 8 minus 5 is 35. It goes in 7 times. So each x is 41 and 7 tenths. So I'm going to erase all this. So each x is 41 and 7 tenths. But here, if you have 2 of them, 2 groups of 41.7 equals 14 carried. 41.7 plus 41.7 is 14 carried 1. That's 83 and 4 tenths. So we found our angle W. So 41.7 substituted minus 8.5. That's a 2. Can I subtract 8 from a 1? Nope, regroup. 30 minus. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 32.2. And last but not least, 2 groups of 41.7, which is 83.4, minus 20. So 83.4 minus 20 will be 63.4. And I'm going to do a little cheat right here. I want to see if they all add up to 180. 83.4 is angle W. Angle Z was 32.2. And then angle Y is 63.4. What? All right, I made a mistake. See, I knew I made a mistake here. Two groups of 41.7, 83.4, yeah. And then I replace the x with 41.7 minus 8.5. Oh, I knew I made a mistake here. Let's go back to the subtraction. 7 minus 5 is 2. Can I take an 8 from a 1? From a 1? No, I cannot. So let me erase this. So I need to regroup from the 4, which becomes a 3, and this becomes 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, so it's 33.2. I knew it. So now it's correct. So let's put the angles are correct. WYZ. If you have to use a highlighter, that's from WYZ. So it's 63.4. So let me take away this highlighted stuff. Next one, WZY. WZY. WZ, oh, is this 32 and 2 tenths? What is left? The 83.4. And it should add up to 180. Proving it with the calculator. Again, you can look at the middle letter and it tells you which angle. So that's how you find the interior angles. The next part of our lesson is learning more about angle, because today is just all about angle relationships. So this is a picture. If you look closely, what type of angle is this? If I had to turn this over, it is a right angle. And can you tell me about right angle? It adds up to 90 degrees. So we have two angles, an angle that's 22 degrees and an angle that is 4x. Sum of the measure of two complementary angles is 90 degrees. So complementary is when you have two angles that form a right angle, which is 90 degrees. As you can tell here, this is how they found out what 4x is equal to. So you add 4x plus 22, and it's going to equal a 90 degrees angle. Subtract 22 from both sides, you get 4x equals 68. Then you divide both sides by 4, x equals 17. So this x is 17. So 4 groups of 17 is 68 degrees. That's one way to solve it, from many ways. But another way is if you know this is 90 degrees and we take away 22 degrees, what's left? 68 degrees. But then we need to figure out what x is. 4 times what? So 4x equals 68. So you divide both sides by 4. X equals 17. However, that's doing it backward. I'd rather do it forward. Next one. This, let me highlight right here, is a straight line. In a straight line, it is equal to 180 degrees. And this word is called supplementary. You have two angles that add up to a straight line, which is 180 degrees. The way I know that a straight line equals 180 degrees, and plus you may have learned this when you're learning acute, right, and obtuse angles in elementary school is, when I used to teach this, I would make kids draw two adjacent right angles. This is 90, this is 90. Then I would make them erase this line right here. And 90 plus 90 is 180. Ooh. So let's try to solve this now. Let's try to find what 5x and what x equals to. So let me get my. So 124 plus 5x equals 180 degrees because that's a straight line. I subtract 124 from both sides, cancel, 5x equal. Can I take 4 from 0? Nope, got to regroup. This is 7, this is 10, 6, 156. Then I divide both sides by 5. So what's 156 divided by 5? 3 times. 5 goes 6 one time. How do I get rid of this remainder? Annex is 0. Goes in 2 times. So each x equals 31 and 2/10. But there's 5 of them here, 5 x's. What's 5 groups of 31.2? 31.2 times 5 is 10, carry 1 is 6, 15. Right, 31.2 is 10, carry to 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 times, 156. 156. And here is the work if you don't trust me. And wait, stop. Where am I messing up here? Ugh. Hold up. Let me erase this. Hold up. This is what I get for doing it with a major, massive headache. All right, so when I was subtracting this, hopefully you caught it when I was doing it. 180 minus 124. So I regroup. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it should be 56. So let me erase that. 56. So 56 divided by 5. It goes in. Let me erase. Let's do this all over again. 56 divided by 5. It goes in 11 times, which is 1. Remainder, annex is 0. So it's 11 and 2/10. So each x equals 11 and 2/10. So 5 groups of 11 and 2/10. 10 carried to 1 is 6 is 56. X equals, x equals 11.22, but this angle equals 56 degrees because 56 degrees plus 124 degrees add up to 180. And last but not least, the last type of angle we're going to talk about is something called vertical angle. Vertical angles are when you have two angles that are across from each other and are equivalent. This is an obtuse angle. This is obtuse. You can tell they're equal to each other. So when here they did 7x minus 9 equals 145. They just added 9 to both sides and got 7x equals 154. They divided 7 on both sides, got x equals 22. They replaced this x with 22, which is 154. Subtract 9 is 145 degrees. And that proved to me that they're both equivalent. So here are 3 examples that you will be practicing. So what type of angle is this? It is a 90 degrees angle. So we are working with complementary angles. Complementary angles. The way I memorize it is silly, but this is how I memorize. Complementary comes before supplementary because in the letters, C comes before S. So 90 comes before 180. I don't know. It might be silly. So we know 52 plus 2x plus 20 equals 90 degrees. Let's collect like terms. 52 and 20 is 72. So 2x plus 72 equals 90. Let's solve this two-step equation. Subtract 72 from both sides. Just cancel. Can I take away 2 from 0? Nope, got to regroup. This becomes an 8. This becomes a 10. So it is 18. 2x equals 18. But divide both sides by 2 because I need to find the inverse. And so x equals 9. So if I replace this x with 9, 2 times 9 is 18, plus 20 is 38 degrees. And 52 plus 38 is 90 degrees, and I proved that is so. Next one. This is what type of angle is this? This is a straight line. So what does a straight line add up to? It adds up to 180 degrees. So let's solve this two-step equation. I want to isolate x. How I'm going to isolate x? I subtract 74 from both sides. This cancels. So 2x equal, can 4 take away from 0? Nope. Regroup. That is 106. That divide 2 on both sides, because now isolates x. X equals 50, half of 10 and 6 is 53. So replace each x with 53. 2 of them equals 106. So that proved to me that they are 174 and 106 adds up to 180, a straight line. And last but not least, many ways to do this. Can you find y? Many ways you could do this. So can you find y? Well, one way you can do this is you know that this is a straight line right here. So y plus 2y plus 7 equals 180 degrees. Or you know this way, this is straight. 41 plus y equals 180. So many ways to prove it. So let's prove it. Let's do, how do I do? 41 plus y equals 180. So we know that this thing. So if I subtract 41 from both sides, y equal, can I take away 1 from 0? Nope, got to regroup. That's a 7, and this is a 10. 139 degrees. So this is 139 degrees. And can you prove to me why this is equal to 41 degrees? Many ways. You could do 139 plus 2x plus 7 equal 180. Or you know that these two are acute angles and they're vertical, so you know they're equal equivalent. So 41 equal 2x plus 7. So subtract 7 from both sides. Cancel. 41 minus 7 is 34. 2x divide by 2, cancel. X equals 17. And to check your work, 2 groups of 17 is 34 plus 7 is 41. And that proved to me why. All right, so what we talked about today is, can you write equations and find the interior angles of a triangle? Or can you find and write an equation to find the angles of a complementary, the two angles that are complementary to make 90 degrees, and for supplementary two angles that form a straight line, which is 180, and this is called vertical. Vertical is where they're across from each other and they're equivalent.